Hello everyone. So welcome to yet another webinar from IFA Now. Today, this webinar is a series, a part of a series wherein we are covering some very interesting products from our partners. Okay, and in the past, we have. I hope I'm audible enough. Um, so in the past, we've done with the InCred एंड हमने मार्केट लिंक डिबेंचर्स और अनलिस्टेड एक्विटीज़ के बारे में कुछ वेबिनार्स करे हैं एंड विच हैज़ बीन लाइक्ड बाय यू ऑल एंड एम्प्लियो जो आपने देखा होगा इट्स पार्ट ऑफ द पार्टनर हब एंड एम्प्लियो के साथ हमारे काफ़ी डिस्कशंस हुए थे रिगार्डिंग द काइंड ऑफ ऑफरिंग्स दैट दे हैव फॉर द एमएफडी कम्युनिटी टू टेक टू योर इन्वेस्टर्स। तो उनके जो प्रोडक्ट्स हमने जो समझे एंड वी फेल्ट दे आर वेरी कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री टू व्हाट यू कैन ब्रिंग टू द टेबल अलॉन्ग साइड म्यूचुअल फंड्स। ओके, सो उनके कुछ जो इन्वेस्ट डिस्काउंटिंग के जो प्रोडक्ट्स है वो हमने स्टडी किए। वी वेटेड फ्रॉम अदर एक्सपर्ट्स, we vetted it from the compliance and regulatory standpoints, and we felt that they are good enough, and we should bring it to our network. तो डिस्कशन शुरू काफ़ी टाइम से चल रहे थे एंड देन ग्रेजुअली हमने पार्टनर हब में एम्प्लियो को इंट्रोड्यूस करवाया और आई एम श्योर आप सब लोग ने देखा भी होगा। एंड सिंस थिंग्स हैव स्टार्टेड स्टेबलाइजिंग, वी थॉट अभी हमें एक वेबिनार करना चाहिए फॉर द आईएफए fraternity out here. And to do this webinar, मेरे साथ एम्प्लियो के co-founder और chief operating officer Purav Bubna is here, who is going to take this session along with me. And again, as I said, our vision behind the partner hub, so to speak, is to bring curating lots of good products for you जो आपके क्लाइंट्स के पोर्टफोलियोज में अपार्ट फ्रॉम म्यूचुअल फंड्स आई एम श्योर कहीं ना कहीं एक जगह आप बना सकते हो, वेदर इट्स अ फिक्स्ड इनकम प्रोडक्ट, वेदर इट्स अ स्ट्रक्चर्ड प्रोडक्ट लाइक एन एमएलडी, और अप्रिशिएट करके एक और पार्टनर है जिनके साथ हम वेबिनार करने वाले हैं, एंड दे हैव वेरी गुड solutions on the global investing front, whether it's model portfolios, whether it's fractional investing, and so on. So today the focus is Amplio, and as I said, Purav Bubna ji हमारे साथ है। तो before I hand over to Purav, who will walk us through Amplio, the background, the history, and the specifically invoice discounting जो product है, वो क्या होता है, कैसे चलता है, कैसे काम करता है, और आपके क्वेश्चंस भी हम लेंगे, राइट। तो बिफोर आई हैंड ओवर टू Purav, क्विक बैकग्राउंड अबाउट एम्प्लियो। सो एम्प्लियो, uh, as I said, founded by Purav Bumna and Karan Mehra, and their mission is pretty clear. They want to make secure, high yield, short term investment opportunities accessible to all investors. Okay, तो उनका जो फ्लैगशिप ऑफरिंग है इन्वेस्ट डिस्काउंटिंग है, जहाँ पे इन्वेस्टर्स को अराउंड 10 to 13% एनुअलाइज्ड रिटर्न्स मिल सकते हैं through the whole invoice discounting concept. And again, we'll go into the details, right? So Amplio recently launched Amplio Assured as well. Again, we are going to discuss about that. And Amplio Assured is India's first insurance-backed invoice discounting product in partnership with Universal Sompo General Insurance, right? So, काफी since it's a new age product, your investors might have some doubts about the regulatory aspects, the compliance, the risk behind it, and so on. So that's where I'm sure this concept of ensuring the underlying instrument in itself will go a long way. So again, we are going to talk about that as well. Okay, and of course, all these investments are curated through a strong compliance layer involving a RBI regulated NBFC and escrow structures which are in place. Uh, Amplio is trusted by more than 5 lakh investors जिन्होंने अब तक 3,000+ crore का इन्वेस्टमेंट्स प्रोसेस किया है विद वेरी स्टेलर ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड सो फार। एंड Again, as I said, it's perfect for those who are looking to diversify beyond equity and mutual funds and still want control, predictability, and peace of mind, right? So Purav is here with us. Purav, as I said, is has been at the heart of building this platform from the ground up. Purav brings a strong operations and fintech background. Previously, he was co-founder of Tyke Invest, which was a platform that helped democratize access to startup investing. So, and then this is his Purav's second venture. And at Amplio, Purav leads the execution engine, overseeing product operations, investor experience, and platform risk controls. And the whole concept behind this insurance-backed invoice discounting was again something that Purav has been uh, pretty instrumental of. And so that's about it. That's a quick introduction of Amplio and Purav, and I would request Purav to come over, and Purav has a presentation to show us, and let's hear him out. And of course, towards the end of it, we are happy to take questions about how this whole thing. If you want to get empaneled, if your clients want to get start investing, तो कैसे ये सब चीजें हैं, we'll understand from Purav, right? So Purav, over to you.
Thanks, Ronak. Very kind of you, a very kind introduction from your side. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Um, Before I start, I'd like to just, give a brief overview of what we're trying to do at Amplio. At Amplio, we are essentially trying to build multiple fixed income products for investors to invest in. But at the same time, we are keeping in mind कि invoice discounting जैसा product जो that's been in the market for decades, how do we make it more and more compliant to RBI and SEBI regulations? And at the same time, how do we reduce risk constantly? So this version of invoice discounting that I'm going to talk to you about is obviously compliant with all regulatory authorities directly regulated by RBI, and at the same time it's the lowest risk invoice discounting जो आपने आज तक देखी होगी. That's essentially what we're trying to go at. I have Bhavya from my team who's presenting for us. I'm just going to quickly take you through the product, help you understand the product with the help of this presentation, and then we can answer any questions that might pop in your head. So invoice discounting essentially as a product, I'm sure everyone knows, but just to introduce invoice discounting as a product, let's say I am company A selling to company B, and I give company B a credit of 90 days. If company A wants to receive this payment today, instead of waiting for 90 days, it can go to a financer like Amplio and it can request the payment or today itself by paying a certain fee, which is known as the discounting charges. So let's say Amplio will discount the receivable for company A, and instead of 100 rupees ka receivable, it'll pay 98 rupees and 2 rupees is its fee discounting charges. And it can simply, and at the 90th day, it will simply collect the payment from company B. This way, company A is satisfied, company B is satisfied, and Amplio is also making a fee. This is what invoice discounting is. Historically, invoice discounting is not regulated directly by any regulatory authority, neither RBI nor SEBI. But there are certain ways in which we manage to come directly under their umbrella to give more comfort to our investors, give more transparency in each and every transaction that we do. And we're calling this Amplio Red or Amplio Receivables Discounting, which is regulated. Can we move on to the next slide? Before we dive into what the structure is and how we actually operate, I'd just like to introduce our numbers. Ronak has given a brief about what our numbers are. We give roughly 12 to 13% per annum returns when we talk about invoice discounting. Our currently invested amount or our current AUM is more than 900 crores, while we have a gross transaction value or the total money invested with us has been 3,000 crores. and we have 100% success rate in terms of on-time repayments. There has been zero defaults in the last 5 years of our existence. Next slide. Highlights of the product, like I already mentioned, higher returns than products in the similar space. So when you talk about extremely low risk products, um, we have much higher returns. We offer 12 to 13% per annum with high liquidity, which means you can liquidate your investments within 30 days of investing. We have a very good track record, and like Ronak mentioned, we also insure this entire investment with Universal Sompo General Insurance Company. We are the first and only platform in the country to have a contractual liability insurance policy from any IRDAI registered insurer. Next slide. Can you? So I'm going to skip this slide. My next slide पे पहले जाऊंगा, and then we'll come back to this slide. Um, what is regulated invoice discounting, how it works. I'm going to jump back to the example of company A, company B. I'm just going to simply call them A and B, and there is Amplio. So abhi, now that we understand invoice discounting कैसे work करता है, let's introduce two new entities into this picture. One is an NBFC. NBFC is obviously directly regulated by RBI. RBI has all set all governing policies for NBFCs. And in order for a PTC, a pass-through certificate to be generated, there is the requirement of a trust. So the way the transaction moves and the way the transaction is regulated is the NBFC, which is a group company of Amplio, originates the loan. There is a credit check done on each and every borrower. The credit check involves a 6-step process that we do for risk mitigation on each and every borrower. Once the borrower is onboarded and the NBFC has discounted the receivable for the borrower, it sells down this loan to a specially created trust. A trust is a special purpose vehicle that essentially allows the securitization of any asset. The asset in this case is the receivable. तो ये exactly bond की तरह काम करता है, जहां पर एक asset होता है which is backing the entire security, and there is an investment that has been made against this asset, and this security can be bought or sold by investors. These are unlisted securities, which means they will reflect in your demat account, but they are not tradable on the markets. तो एक बार तो जब आप तो जब एनबीएफसी लोन क्रिएट कर लेती है, लोन सेल कर देती है ट्रस्ट को, द ट्रस्ट सिक्योरिटाइजेस इट इन द फॉर्म ऑफ अ पास थ्रू सर्टिफिकेट, which is then which is then available to be bought or purchased by investors on the Amplio platform, and it can be sold at the end of the predefined cycle. These cycles can be 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, so on and so forth, with an ultimate tenure of 2 years. इसका मतलब ये होता है that although the invoice discounting cycle works in cycles of 30 days or 60 days, it is available to be sold every 30 days or 60 days. It can be held for up to 2 years or 2.5 years by each investor. If the investor chooses to hold these investments for up to 2 years, and let's say उनका tenure 90 days है, तो हर 90 दिन, और जब हम इनवॉइस को रिप्लेस करेंगे पीटीसी में विद अ न्यू इनवॉइस, we will also compound the investment for the investor, which means principal plus interest at the end of 90 days will be reinvested as the principal, and this will continue for 2 years. This is what pass-through certificates are. And as of today, this is the only way in which invoice discounted falls under a regulated structure. This ensures liquidity. This ensures higher returns than the market. And at the same time, any and every PTC that you purchase is 100% insured by Universal Sompo General Insurance Company. ये जो insurance policy is, it is issued directly in the name of Amplio. And the way this insurance policy works is that if we meet certain predefined criteria for the borrower. And when I say borrower, borrower is obviously a buyer and seller combination. Once we meet these criteria for the buyer and for the seller, um, any claim submitted to Universal Sompo should be processed within 90 days, and no claim should be rejected because we are working on predefined criteria and not on a case to case basis with Universal Sompo. So that offers a very high level of security as compared to any other investments providing similar returns or providing similar liquidity. Now go to the previous slide. So why should one choose regulated invoice discounting? Why would you, आप क्यों अपने इन्वेस्टर से कहेंगे कि आप एम्प्लियो के थ्रू इनवॉइस डिस्काउंटिंग में पैसे डालिए? Is number one, it's 100% transparent. So like I mentioned, एनबीएफसी से लोन ओरिजिनेट होता है, एनबीएफसी का हर एक इन्वेस्टमेंट, एनबीएफसी का हर एक ट्रांजैक्शन आरबीआई को रिपोर्ट होता है, which means it is 100% compliant and transparent. Number two is it comes with insurance. So built in आती है insurance, which means God forbid there is a default from the buyer. Um, the insurance company has to settle all claims. जब आप पीटीसी खरीद रहे हो एम्प्लियो से, these PTCs will be transferred to your डीमैट अकाउंट और द इन्वेस्टर्स डीमैट अकाउंट. इससे इन्वेस्टर को एट ऑल टाइम्स ही नोज व्हाट ही इज होल्डिंग, हाउ मेनी यूनिट्स ही इज होल्डिंग. उन्हें अगर लेट से वो 10 यूनिट खरीदते हैं, उन्हें 1 यूनिट बेचना है, वो भी कर सकते हैं. सो ही नोज एट ऑल पॉइंट्स कि उनका how he has to track his investment. Auto reinvestment is what I already spoke about, कि at the end of the credit cycle जब buyer से payment आ जाती है and the bills have to be replaced, there is an auto reinvestment available जहाँ पर investors returns are compounded. From a tax perspective, um, these come under capital gains since it's a security. तो अगर आप 2 महीने, 3 महीने, 6 महीने के लिए होल्ड कर रहे हो, then it falls under short term capital gains. But if investments are held for more than 2 years, तब LTCG लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल गेन्स के बेनिफिट्स भी इन्वेस्टर्स को अवेलेबल होते हैं. नाउ एज अ डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर आपके लिए इसमें क्या है, राइट? Number one, there is obviously flexibility, which means that if an investor is looking for more stable returns, he's looking for less risk, very less risk, then we have options where we offer um, rated PTCs also, जहां पर हम specifically आपके लिए rated PTCs भी offer कर सकते हैं starting from, and these will all be CRISIL rated. You will have access to a partner dashboard जहां पर आप अपने इन्वेस्टर्स की सारी इन्वेस्टमेंट्स ट्रैक कर पाएंगे. Amplio has proven itself to be a reliable platform जहां पर शॉर्ट टर्म हाई यील्ड इन्वेस्टमेंट्स में हमने 100% रीपेमेंट रिकॉर्ड मेंटेन किया है फॉर ऑल आवर डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स, सो योर रेप्यूटेशन इज प्रोटेक्टेड. एंड एट द सेम टाइम ये सारे प्रोडक्ट्स आरबीआई रेगुलेटेड है, सो from your perspective it becomes easier to sell to your investors. And lastly, no other platform that competes with us can match the rates we offer for the products we are offering. तो आप अगर market analysis करेंगे तो हमारे rates default repayment record या default record, and at the same time client servicing is much better than any of our direct competitors या हमारे peers से better है. Coming to now, let's dive a little deeper on what our process is to onboard a borrower. हम जब borrowers को onboard करते हैं तो we look at a total of 6 things, 6 to 9 things. We've highlighted a few over here to mitigate risk. So there are two steps. One is how do we prevent a default from happening, and step two is अगर default हुआ, God forbid, if there is a default, then what do we do? So, reviewing financial statements, accessing GST data, and bank statement analysis is something that our DD team and credit risk team does. In this case, all of this data is not collected from the company, but हम actually MCA and GST के different sources से we actually source this from the government records to make sure that no data has been fabricated. There has been no, they're not trying to do any fraud by themselves. Next step, may we look at, we check each and every invoice that's submitted to us, whether the buyer has accepted these invoices or not, whether he has done a goods receipt against this or not. What is the history between the buyer seller, कितने सालों से वो ट्रांजैक्शन करते आ रहे हैं, ऑन टाइम पेमेंट हो रही है या नहीं हो रही है फ्रॉम द बायर साइड. And we also do physical visits to the office and factory of the seller to ensure that the operations are what they mention it to be. um, हम पोस्ट डेटेड चेक कलेक्ट करते हैं एंड ऑल्सो पर्सनल गारंटी of the directors when it comes to the seller, and each transaction that Amplio does is initiated and approved by a SEBI escrow trustee, which ensures that no fraudulent transactions can happen at the end of Amplio. The most important point when it comes to risk mitigation is whenever we discount any invoices, whenever our NBFC discounts any invoices, the collection happens directly from the buyer. This eliminates the chances of any fraud जहाँ पर the seller is collecting the payment and then he's choosing not to pay us. He's deciding कि नहीं आप नई invoices लेकर पैसे rotate करवा दीजिए हमारे लिए. No funny business of that sort takes place at our end. हम 100% buyer से collect करते हैं and then we decide whether we have to rotate the invoice discounting facility for that particular seller or not. So that's in short our risk mitigation process. When it comes to, let's say there is a 0.1% chance that there is an actual case of default where the money does not come in, we obviously have insurance that is there to safeguard us. But on top of that, हमारे पास post dated check है both from the director of the seller and also the seller, which allows us to file a negotiable instruments act in a civil court, and we can pursue the seller legally in that case. Another very important point I'd like to mention is that um, according to RBI guidelines, all NBFCs are supposed to hold back 5% of any loans that they give in the form of PTCs using its own funds, and we earn no interest in this. This ensures that हमारा skin in the game, हमारा पैसा constantly कोई भी company के against लगा हुआ है to give our investors some comfort that we are not passing on the entire risk to them. We are actually holding back 5% of the risk at no income for ourselves. That's about it for the process. I will just recap it quickly in 30 to 60 seconds. Um, invoice discounting facility is given to sellers in order to receive their receivables on the date of generation of invoice instead of receiving it at the end of the credit cycle, which can be 30, 60, 90 days in general. For this, the seller pays a small discounting charge to the financer. In the case of regulated invoice discounting, this is sold to investors in the form of pass-through certificates of PTCs, which are securities. In the case of PTCs, loan origination is done by an NBFC. NBFC sells this loan to a trust. The trust securitizes this receivable in the form of pass-through certificates. Pass-through certificates are sold to investors. Investors can invest in pass-through certificates and receive them in their demat accounts. The interest rate that they will earn on these pass-through certificates are around 12 to 13% per annum, which is compounded if the investor chooses to hold the investment beyond 90 days for for up to a tenure of 2 years, at the end of which they will have to at the end of which the PTC ends and they receive their principal back. We brush through risk mitigation policies. We brush through how these investments are highly protected by insurance, which no other company is able to offer today, and also how Amplio manages around 900 crores of AUM at any given point of time without any defaults in our last 5 years of existence. That's about it from our end, and obviously now we go back to Ronak, who can moderate the questions, and um, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Purav. I think it was crisp and I think covered a lot of things, but we still have questions and
Of course.
very relevant ones.
Yeah.
So I think they've been queued up over here in the chat section. So maybe
Right.
let me start taking them up one by one, and you can do the needful. So. So what is the max value of a single company invoice that you undertake as a
So the way we work is, we evaluate the entire loan book of a company, उसके current debt obligations क्या है. Let's say 100 rupees की turnover है company की. um, we only and only come in if the company does not have loans of more than 25 rupees. तो अगर 100 रुपए का टर्नओवर है, 25 रुपए तक के लोन्स लिए हुए हैं, दैट इज ओके फॉर अस. if they don't have if they do have more than 25 rupees of loans, we won't come in. And when we do come in, we cover only up to 10% of the company's turnover in the form of our loans. तो अगर 100 रुपए की कंपनी है, we don't lend more than 10 rupees to that company, and that is also staggered, which means we'll start with 2.5 to go up to 5. If there's still more requirement, we'll be open to giving another 2.5, but we'll never cross 10 rupees. That will also be a function of already kitna loan liya hua hai company ne. So to answer your question, if for a 100 rupees company, we don't go beyond 10 rupees for a single company.
so is there like a absolute value max absolute value that you want to take exposure, or there's no cap?
नहीं, ऐसा कुछ हमने रखा नहीं है.
नहीं
But
रखा.
in practice till date, we've not gone more than 7.5% of annual revenue for any company. We are
हम्म.
open to going till 10%.
ठीक है. Okay. Tejas, I hope that answers the question. Ashwani is asking is 0% default guaranteed? And
No, 0%
secondly,
default. So
yeah.
in invoice discounting as a product, it comes with its own risks, right? If someone wants to um, voluntarily किसी को अगर fraud करना ही है, तो वो fraud कर सकता है. But to protect against that, we have introduced measures like collecting personal guarantee from the directors. We have insurance
Hmm.
coming into the picture with predefined criteria, जहाँ पर if the buyer actually does not pay, then the insurance company has no reason to not process the claim. So 100% insurance coverage, when we say it's 100% covered by insurance, it means that any PTC that we sell to our investors, although we've never had to do this, there can be no reason why a claim will not be processed. So in that sense, it is 100% protected, but I can't say 0% default is guaranteed, because insurance comes into picture if and when there is a default.
Okay. Hmm.
So I hope wo
So there is
questions you
enough
answer.
protection, but a default is definitely beyond your control,
Yeah,
and you have enough checks and balances in place.
correct.
Ashwani also has this question, what is the return percentage for distributors? I think the question is about the commission structure. If you could just
Um,
throw some
अच्छा,
light on that.
distributor structure. I think Ronak, let's keep that, or Ashwini rather, let's keep that to a later discussion rather than discussing rates for distributors
Yeah,
immediately.
yeah.
I think
Fair enough.
That's better.
So, yeah, anyways, we will be taking this up with you all.
Right.
And, we'll answer this question for sure, but rest assured, it is far better than, uh, you know, um,
Yeah, what's available in the market.
what's available in the market. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Okay.
yeah. Agla question is,
KK has a question. Who are the promoters of Amplio? Purav, what's the track record? How is Amplio funded?
so Amplio was founded and the promoters are myself and my partner Karan Mehra. We track record. I think I spoke about the track record quite in detail. Um, we also ran a company before this, which is also a group company, like Ronak mentioned, called Tyke Invest, which was a company um, started to invest in startups. Parallelly, हमारा fixed income arm through invoice discounting is Amplio. Amplio is obviously the bigger operation for us. Amplio is funded. Amplio is a profitable company. We have been profitable for the last 3 years, and we have investors. We have strategic investors that we raised from at the beginning of our journey in the first year of our existence. Some of these investors would be Mr. Ajay Rajan. He's the president of he's the national head and president of transaction banking and international business at Yes Bank. We have Mr. Srinivas Jain, who's the marketing and business development head for SBI Mutual Funds. We have Mr. Vijay Kumar Venkatraman. He was the ex-chairman of the Commodities and Derivatives Exchange of India, which is a you can say a sister company for SEBI, and he's also on the advisory committee for multiple SEBI related matters. We also have Amrish Rao, who is the CEO of Pine Labs. We have Mr. Jitendra Gupta, who is the founder of Jupiter. So we do have a number of well-known strategic investors who invested very early on in our journey.
Fair enough. And so I hope KK that gives you some comfort about the founders. Mudit has a question: under what circumstances claim can be rejected by Universal Sompo? Does investor get 100% of invested amount from insurance company in case of any default? This partly answered, but if you could just double down on this.
Yeah, so so the conditions for rejection of a claim are if the predefined criteria are not met. The predefined criteria, to put it simply, relies on the buyer. If the buyer is a company that is either listed on any of the stock exchanges or has a turnover of more than 500 crores INR, and he has accepted the invoice. Invoice acceptance can be through a goods receipt note, it can be through email, and it can be through providing a letterhead saying that any invoices raised by this company on us will be paid directly to Amplio. Then the invoice is 100% covered by Universal Sompo, and at the time of claim submission, 100% of principal plus interest for the original tenure. Let's say original tenure is 90 days. The principal plus original tenure ka interest is what will be paid by Universal Sampo.
Okay, so I think you mentioned that the buyer has to be a listed company having more than 500 crores of revenues. Am I right?
No, it has to be listed or
Or,
have revenue of 500 crores.
okay. So, I mean, is your exposure to companies which do not fall into this criteria, is there any exposure to such
No, there's
companies,
no
or
exposure on any such
there's
companies.
no exposure? Okay, so that covers. Got it. So Chanchal Singh has a question. How does it differ from bank bill discounting?
It's exactly like bank bill discounting. Our processes are exactly like invoice discounting done by a bank, except for the fact that since a bank does not have to sell it to investors, they don't require it to be converted to PTCs, while we are selling it to investors, so we convert it to PTCs.
Okay. All right. Suresh has this question. If we told investors about Amplio, they will directly buy from Amplio at better rate. How will you protect distributor interest? How would you answer this question?
We've been in the distribution business for almost 2 years now, and
Hmm.
we've not had a single distributor who has left us because we are selling directly to their investors or because we've not offered a competitive rate. So, uh, Mr. Suresh will take care of that. We promise you.
Right, and the way we are structuring this is we are going to allow the distributor to also set the rate, right? I mean,
Correct.
the distributor can also set the rate, so it is up to you how competitive you want to be, and it's a call completely that you can take. And so the next question is from KK again. How many companies ID is employee Amplio doing? If we decide to invest, is it with one company or is it a blind pool?
We do discounting for almost 50 companies today.
Mm-hmm.
And if you choose to invest, it is with a company of your choice. You will be presented with the invoices of that company. You will be provided with an agreement that Amplio has signed with that company. And you will also be shown the post-dated checks that Amplio has collected from that company before you choose to invest into any particular company. तो आपको बायर सेलर एम्प्लियो का अग्रीमेंट कौन सी इनवॉइसेस के अगेंस्ट डिस्काउंटिंग हो रही है एंड पोस्ट डेटेड चेक्स ये सब देखने मिलेगा बिफोर यू चूज टू इन्वेस्ट.
Got it. So it's not pooled like the typical P2P concept होता था
Yeah,
where your
it's
investment
a,
was getting pooled. So
yeah, it's
वहाँ पे
not.
risk कम हो रहा है but again what are your thoughts on that? Since it's your money is with just one buyer, it's exposed
No,
to one
so
invoice.
so it's not like you have the option to invest in just one. आपको 10 ऑप्शन देंगे.
Right.
उसमें से you can
You
choose whether
can,
you want to diversify it over 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can choose to diversify, but you have to do that yourself.
yeah,
Since Amplio is not a fund, Amplio is not allowed to make the decision for you.
got it. So Sriraj has a question. How can one redeem money before 2 years? What returns does he get in that case?
So, in a normal scenario, the tenure is set to 2 years, but there is a liquidity event or an option to sell every 60 days or every 90 days, depending on what company you choose to invest in, what is the credit cycle that they offer. So in that case, आप हर 90 दिन में you will have the option to liquidate your investment. So on the 90th day, 180th day, 270th day, there will be a liquidity event where Amplio will buy back the PTC if you choose to sell it. The only rider over here is that आप सिर्फ इंटरेस्ट नहीं निकाल सकते. या तो आप प्रिंसिपल और इन्वेस्ट दोनों सेल कर सकते हो या यू कैन कंटिन्यू टू स्टे इन्वेस्टेड एंड एंजॉय द कंपाउंडिंग इफेक्ट.
Got it.
Another option that you will have is, let's say, each unit of invoice discounting is available for, or each unit of a PTC is available for 1 lakh rupees, and you invest 10 lakh and buy 10 units. At the 90th day or 180th day, you will have the opportunity to sell 1 unit, 2 units, or all 10 units. So you can exit partially or completely, or you can continue to remain invested completely.
No, I think that's important that the auto reinvest is also a good feature in itself because that way you don't, as a distributor, you don't need to keep worrying about the money,
Right.
going back into the client's account and then he has to again reinvest, right? So the reinvestment option definitely helps, but the option is there to also withdraw
Liquidate.
the money, right?
Yeah.
Liquidate, right? So that's great. So Sonesh has a question, does the insurance company pay in case of a fraud? So there could be a fraud as well. Is fraud covered as well?
So, I mean, fraud can only happen in a real world scenario, in our practical scenario. Fraud
Hmm.
तभी हो सकता है जब buyer ने कह दिया that okay, I will pay the invoice into Amplio's account. but the buyer then chooses to pay into the seller's account, and then the seller chooses not to pay Amplio. So it is a very, very, very unusual scenario. But if that does happen, then no, the insurance company will not cover that.
Mm.
So according to our analysis, with the checks and measures we have in place, the chances of this happening are
Chances are
next
low.
to impossible.
Got it. Got it. Is it so? There's a question. Is it CIS, Collective Investment Scheme? My investor invested in Grow Pital.
No, it's not a collective
It's not
investment.
right, and the case is with SAT still right now. So it's not. Yeah. Can we withdraw premature? That's answered. Can you can't withdraw premature, but at the end of 90 or 120 days, as the cycle
Yeah, so
is, right?
it's
So you can.
predefined. The
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
liquidity event is predefined.
Mm,
वो चेंज नहीं हो सकता, बट यू कैन चूज, अगर आप लेट से आप 30 डे लिक्विडिटी चूज कर रहे हो, so your rate is adjusted accordingly, you will get a lesser rate, but you will be able to sell every 30 days or every 60 days
sure.
or every 90 days,
Sure.
but that's predefined.
Yeah. Yeah. Chiranjeevi is requesting if you can elaborate a bit more on PTC, that is the pricing and other details. So if you could just,
I think PTCs are covered in detail, and pricing, as we discussed, we'll take it up a little later.
okay. Arun has a question. What is the solvency ratio for your company? That is Amplio. As I understand, investors will lend money to your company.
I didn't quite understand this question.
So the question is, what is the solvency ratio of Amplio? And since the investors will lend money to Amplio.
No, the investors are not lending money to Amplio. It all works through an escrow mechanism, जहाँ पर आपके लिए एक wallet create होगा in our master escrow. From that master escrow, your money will directly be sent to the company, or will directly be sent to the trust that is issuing the PTCs. Or
Hmm.
in the case of PTCs, in fact, I'm sorry, in the case of PTCs, क्या हो रहा है कि Amplio is basically distributing PTCs issued by a trust. So these, you're simply buying a PTC that is held by us in our demat, but it's not actually originated by us. It's actually belonging to the trust. So investor का पैसा never comes onto the books of Amplio.
Hmm.
So our solvency ratio henceforth does not matter, because हमारे बैलेंस शीट में ये नहीं दिखेगा.
Right. Right. All right. So, what does the question is, what does RBI regulated actually mean? Usually, investment instruments are SEBI regulated. Why is this not SEBI regulated? What about other platforms? Are they RBI regulated as well? There's been some fraud in this space as well. Yeah, it happened with one.
Right. So
Yeah,
I'll explain why this is RBI regulated. It's RBI regulated because जो लोन ओरिजिनेशन हो रही है वो एनबीएफसी के थ्रू हो रही है, which is directly under the purview of RBI. The trust that is being created is also directly under the purview of RBI. Once the trust securitizes it in the form of a PTC and it is being sold into your demat, obviously securities are regulated by SEBI. So until it becomes a PTC, it is an Amplio as a platform is regulated by RBI. But obviously, the security would fall under the purview of SEBI.
got it.
And there's been some fraud in this space. The fraud that has happened in this space, or the other platforms also have two types of offerings. They offer regulated and unregulated products. Whatever fraud has happened has been in the unregulated products, and they were not regulated by RBI.
So how come they
But
were
they were
not
not,
regulated? How come they were
but
not regulated?
yeah. And also, to add to that, they did not have, even in the unregulated invoice discounting, it's not very easy for a platform to face fraud. The fraud only happens when you're checks and measures are not as strong as ours are.
Hmm. Okay, so Arun has a question. What is the profitability of your company in the last 3 to 5 years? If you're comfortable, maybe you can just share, or you already mentioned it's a profitable company, but it's I'd let you take this
We
question.
like to keep that to
Yeah.
ourselves at this moment.
Okay. Okay, Tejas's question has been answered already. Chiranjeevi is requesting if we can have more write-up on the product presentation. So Chiranjeevi, that's a fair ask. So our team is already working with Amplio, and a lot of collaterals are currently being prepared. And it's not just for you, even for your clients, you'll be able to share very easy to digest collaterals about invoice discounting and so on. So if you have a mobile app, we'll make it easy for you to even promote on your mobile app as well. So stay tuned, and in fact my team has something to show on this front as well, so we'll take that up as well. Ashwani is asking, are you B2C? Are you in B2C or not? Means from our client perspective, I think so. You are B2C, but how would you answer that question, Purav?
So when you say are we in B2C or not, I would say yes and no, which means that हम directly कोई investor को as of today for the last 6 months नहीं approach कर रहे हैं, but yes, if an investor wants, he can come by himself and get onboarded with us. But in any case, the rates offered to an investor are well below the rates being offered to distributors. So uh, it's not of any
Right.
benefit to the investors
So,
to come.
so your clear strategy is to really do
Right,
this through the B2B channels, right?
right,
So
right.
that gives a lot of comfort. What is the minimum investment amount in the unit size of 1 lakh? 1 lakh is the minimum investment amount, right? Do we have Uh, Tejas, do we have competition from online selling by Amplio, or it is exclusive distributor selling only? So Tejas, this question has been answered. Chiranjeevi says, how was the pricing of PTC in case of liquidity prior to 2 years?
It's the same. मतलब हम ऐसा नहीं बोल रहे कि if you hold it for 2 years, we are um, offering a better rate. Obviously, there will be deals where we offer zero liquidity for 2 years. वहाँ पर rates better होंगे. But
Uh-huh.
let's say if we are saying that you invest for 90 days, but you choose to hold it for 2 years, there's no difference in rate. For us, it's all the same.
Okay. KK again has a question. Any deck we can share, what materials that we can share with potential investors? So stay tuned. We will help you with that. Shiraj asked a question, is a commission on the first time buy only or on renewals too? I'm sure it's on renewals as well.
Yeah, it's on the news.
So it's almost like a trail commission. So what is Suresh asked, what is the selling process from investor demat account? That's yeah.
That will also be so once we get into a more detailed discussion, and once we actually get investments, we have a presentation. It's exactly like selling any other security from your demat account, where you have to fill up a form and you have to initiate the request from your demat. क्या बोलते हैं उसको? DIS form. You have to fill up a DIS form and you have to initiate the process at your end. Our team will help you through that as well, way before the time comes where you have to sell it.
Okay, so Chanchal is asking a question. You will be charging around 20% plus interest to discounters, whereas money is available at much cheaper rate. How will you compete in future?
My answer to this question is simply that invoice discounting has been going on at the rates that we charge to our borrowers for more than 50, 60 years. My grandparents used to do invoice discounting.
Oh.
So it is a product that is always required in a market like India, जहाँ पर there is constant growth, right? There is constant demand and appetite for capital. So I don't think that is going to be a problem for us.
Hmm. But over period, do you see arbitrage coming down, such opportunities, the margins shrinking, and so on?
So if the arbitrage or the margins have to shrink, then it will shrink across the board. जहाँ पर म्यूचुअल फंड्स का भी रिटर्न कम हो जाएगा, अदर कंपटीशन का भी रिटर्न कम हो जाएगा, and accordingly we will adjust our rates for the borrower and for the investor as well. It's not like सिर्फ इनवॉइस डिस्काउंटिंग एज अ प्रोडक्ट को ही अफेक्ट होगा.
Okay,
So
okay,
if today an investor owns an average of 6-7% on an FD in the best case scenario, if the margins do shrink, if the arbitrage does shrink, then banks will lower their FD rates as well.
sure.
तो आप एफडी में और कम कमाओगे, तो इनवॉइस डिस्काउंटिंग में अगर आप लोअर देन टुडे भी कमाओगे, यू विल बी ओके विद इट.
Mm. So Arun has a question. What are the details of trust and who monitors the same? That's a
So
very
new trust is created for each PTC. Each trust will last for 2 years, after which it will be closed and a new trust will be opened, if at all the same company का discounting करना है. These trusts are managed end to end 100% by SEBI registered trustees. For us, we work with two trustees. One is Midcon Credentia Trusteeship Private Limited, and the other one is Beacon Trusteeship. I don't know the full legal name.
okay.
Beacon Trusteeship Limited, I think. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Uh, yeah. So recording is available. Ashwini seems to be having some concerns. So Ashwini, we'll reach out to you. Don't worry. Is this integrated with IFNO platform? Yes, we are developing a deep integration, but for now, you can get your clients to start investing as well. We'll start sharing the commercials and everything. Do you offer, is asking, do you offer DMAT opening facility?
Yeah, we
Uh,
have partners that can help you open demat accounts.
Great. Okay. Sriraj, your question is answered. Do the investor need to create a new DMAT account or can they use existing DMAT for Amplio? So they can use existing DMAT account. Um, Advait, we'll share the commission structure with you. So stay tuned. You just need to empanel. Bibop, if you could explain to us the next steps. How can the advisors go about empaneling? What help can they expect from our side, from IFNO side in terms of outreach and everything? Hello, Bibop, are you there?
Yes, yes. Hi, Rana.
Yeah.
Sure. So, with Amplio, I think currently because it's a part of our partner hub initiative, and we are also actively developing integrations with the IFNOW platform. I mean, Amplio currently also has a suitable tech platform at their end also. But developments would take maybe around a couple of months. So till then, client onboarding and transactions has to be carried out manually or maybe at Amplio's end. But we will, in terms of support and everything, I think we will keep having these webinars from time to time. We'll also share whatever sales toolkit we can in terms of presentations, in terms of detailed term sheets and everything, whatever is required. Also, additionally, from time to time, we'll also keep having a very, we'll having tasks which would give you IFNR credit points also over and above the commissions and the payouts. Because as part of our partner hub, that was also one of our key ideas was to incentivize you through IFNR points so that you can grow your business while also saving big on the IFNR billing also. So in that regard, we have created a sort of a task-based gamification section. I'll very quickly go over it. I'll just
Before,
share my
before that, sorry, I could see that Abhay Khatri had raised a hand. So,
raise.
Abhay, you can ask your question.
I'll just.
ये
I've
मेरे
just
तरफ क्या
unmuted you.
रिकॉर्डिंग मिल पाएगी क्या इसकी?
Sorry.
एक्चुअली सेशन ज्वाइन नहीं हो पा रहा था, क्या
हाँ जी,
रिकॉर्डिंग इसकी मिल अवेलेबल
बिल्कुल
होगी क्या?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल मिल जाएगी सर।
ठीक,
हाँ
ठीक
जी,
है सर।
हाँ जी। या, Bebo, over to you.
Sure. So I hope all of you are able to see my screen. So this is our typical IFNR dashboard. As you can see, we've put that widget over there. So now with Partner Hub, now since we have these amazing products on our platform, we want you to engage more. We want you to get into this these products, offer these more to your clients. So in that regard, we have created this sort of a task based very simple gamification sort of a tool. Isme from time to time we'll keep adding certain tasks, certain, maybe, like, let's say for now currently what we have is basically attend masterclass, then you earn some points, panel with Amplio, then you earn some points, maybe on your first transaction you earn some points, and later on maybe we will also have uh, let's say complete 5 clients onboarding and earn certain points. This is just to keep it, more, lucrative in a sense, and also, it's a bit fun because whenever we go through these sort of milestone achievement based task, it creates a lot of, fun, and it keeps us going. So that's what we have plans. So in 3 areas, basically, we would have these webinars from time to time. We'll also share whatever collaterals, marketing materials, sale toolkits that we can. We will have a proper library for that. And also from time to time, we'll keep on having these certain rewards, which are again over and above the payouts and commissions and everything. And this is just to help you save on the IFNOW platform bill also while you mobilize investments. So I think that's the bit. Currently, there is only 3 tasks. I mean, attend masterclass will automatically be completed. And panel, if you do, I think Bhavya, if you can share the links on the chat, then also you can earn points. And then we'll also have certain we have designed a very good journey with task as you progress with your Amplio offerings. So those will keep appearing here as well. And similarly for other partners also, for our Incred or some other partner also, the tasks will appear. And we have a lot of journeys planned. So as and when these get live on the IFNOW platform, we'll also keep updating you. We're also building an promotion engine wherein you can promote these products, these concepts directly to the client through email, mobile app, WhatsApp. So that is in the works. Hopefully, it will be live very soon, and we'll also communicate as and when that goes live also. So I think that's it from the tech integration point.
Great. Thanks, Bebo. So, I mean, see, we are looking at this in a very full, holistic approach. Just giving you the, let's say, the sales material and all those things, and just giving you the webinar and all those things, versus we are saying, let's take it to your clients as well. If your clients are on the mobile app, we'll ensure that they are able to see those products with your consent, of course. Only if you wish to show them the Amplio offerings, or it could be other such product manufacturers as well, whether it's on WhatsApp, as Bibop mentioned, whether it's on email or mobile app, right? So ये कुछ चीज़ें हम कर रहे हैं. On the other hand, we've gamified this whole thing, so that should make it a little more fun as well, and at the same time make you earn some brownie points. So, Bibo, what about the empanelment link? Of course, we'll be sharing it later as well, but has it been made available? Sorry, Bibo, you are on mute.
Yes, I'll just put it over on chat. Just give me one sec.
Yeah.
Mm.
Purav, anything that you would like to add?
Ronak, I think from my side, I've covered most of whatever I wanted to cover.
Okay.
Um, yeah, regarding the library and the toolkit, my team will make it available immediately in connect. Like they'll discuss with the Bob and get it done immediately.
Okay. So the empanelment form link has been just shared by Bivop from our side. So please have a look at it, fill up the form, and we'll take it forward. All your questions will be answered if they are not yet answered. So please don't worry. Uh, Suresh, yes, the client will be able to see the product like ML Design PTC on IFA Now app very soon. Stay tuned. We are working on a very integrated marketing campaign tool where your clients will see it, at specific time intervals and so on. So we are working on a very comprehensive tool on that front. So stay tuned. Um, I think we've covered all the questions. Purav, thank you so much for taking this up again, and we'll want to do more such uh,
Definitely.
webinars with you and your team. There is also an Amplio Wealth as well. Today we focused on Amplio Red, right? Do you quickly want to just give a heads up on what Amplio Wealth is? Because I found
Um,
that product very interesting and
I
a
think
very good
I'll
alternative to liquid
quickly
funds.
thoda sa I'll quickly take it up. It might get a little confusing, so I'll keep it very
Okay.
crisp.
Yeah.
It is a it is very similar to, or in fact, it is a product. It is a P2P product where investors can invest in P2P loans.
Hmm.
And it is the only product, I'd say it is one of the only, if not the only, products that is 100% in compliance with the master directions that the RBI released when it comes to P2P guidelines. तो जहाँ पर दूसरे बड़े बड़ी NBFCs अपना P2P offering बंद कर रहा है,
Hmm.
Amplio Wealth is still going strong. Amplio Wealth offers a 10% per annum return also. Um, so it is one of the only P2P products which is still growing and available to invest in the country. I think our
Hmm.
distributors, our partners will all know how P2P products work.
Yeah.
Um, the more for a more detailed explanation, I think we should take it up, separately or on a
Sure.
separate
Yeah.
webinar
Yeah.
because
Definitely.
थोड़ा
Definitely.
सा मिक्स एंड मैच हो जाएगा आई फील.
Fair enough. No, so I just wanted to let the our
Yeah,
IFA friends know that it's not just Amplio Red, there's Amplio Wealth as well.
right.
Or we'll cover this in a detailed webinar. So stay tuned on that front. So I think we are done. Let's just take one last question. I think what is expected ROI in invoice discounting by Amplio? So the returns can be 12 to 13%, and you as a distributor, you have an opportunity, or rather, the privilege to even set the rate for your clients. So again, we'll dive into these details on a one-on-one basis. A lot of your questions may be there. We'll take it up for sure.
There's one last question. I think I'll answer that
Yeah.
also. Where Arun has asked, Amplio does not even have 1 year of incorporation. To answer that, we have multiple group companies operating under the brand Amplio. The platform is operating under Crestport Technologies Private Limited currently, which is a new company, but previously we used to run under the Type platform, which is Type Technologies Private Limited, and hence there is that confusion. This will all be mentioned in the write-up that is shared, so you can rest assured that whatever I've said will be backed by data.
Great. Thanks, Purav. Um, we'll see you soon. Thank you
Right.
for taking the time
Thank
out.
you so much.
Thank you, everyone. We'll close the webinar now, and the recording will be made available to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.